There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gin College Podcast. I'm your host, John G. II, here with another episode. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're in the best time of the year. We're in March Madness, and it's finally upon us. We have the kicking off of the NIT that has just underwent. We're going to talk about that here shortly in a little bit. The NIT is not to be undermined. It's still a tournament, still an opportunity for any team that qualifies or that feels like they got relegated to hoist a banner and to hoist a trophy above their heads. So all very important things. There's some controversy even that we will dive into here shortly as well. And it surrounds a big Power 5 team that we didn't really expect to see, but we saw it. And we have to deal with it no matter what. No matter how you slice it, we have to deal with every bit of it. We're going to slice it up. We're going to chop it up, do whatever we have to do here on the GCP. It's a great time to be a GCP watcher, listener, fan, whatever you have to consider yourself, because it's a great time to be alive regardless. Okay, in the world of sports, I've said it before. Others have said it as well. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to partake in the world of sports. To quote Sobo, it's just a great time to be invested in the world of sports for whatever sport you're interested in. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first topic of the evening, and it regards UNC. So North Carolina, they have opted out of the NIT. They've opted out of the NIT. Okay, so I have a bone to pick with this. Coach Hubert Davis put it up to a vote for his players to say, hey, guys, if you want to play in the NIT, you can, but if you don't want to, I'm not going to hold it against you. Not going to hold it against you. You guys make the call, and we'll make our decision as a team. But he gave it up to the players. So some may say, okay, he's being very diplomatic. He's very, very democratic as far as letting them choose, letting them say, hey, do we deserve to play the NIT? Obviously, they could have opted into it. They had the opportunity to play in it, but they wound up saying no. And Coach Hubert Davis has faced some controversy because of this. We didn't expect this. This is very unforeseen from a coach of his caliber, and for the reputation that Roy Williams, the previous head coach, has lived upon for so many years, especially being a part of the Tar Heels Nation and being a big shot win-now program in the ACC. Unforeseen, didn't expect it. Now UNC at a very close time was a number 1 ranked AP poll team. Okay, that is not the case anymore. Going back, rewriting history a little bit, and I'm always going to bring this up because I have a bone to pick with UNC and will have a bone to pick for a very long time because of their loss to Alabama on the Crimson Tide. Previously, early in the season, I had some coin in the game, had some big coin in the game. It was a 2-leg parlay. I believe I put $80 on it. Okay, all they had to do was win the game. Came down to a goaltending call that was reviewed and revoked. And I will never live that down for the referees, the officials' call to say, hey, we're going to take that goaltending away. We're going to say, we want that goaltending back. That wasn't a goaltend. It would have put UNC up by a point, and it was a very pivotal point in the game. I believe there was a minute left or less than a minute. There was very little time left on the clock. So to see that happen, to see them go down that way, and especially to see me lose money, it was all a culmination of a shitstorm. So I was not happy after that, and UNC essentially left a bad taste in my mouth. And hearing this that they're opting out of the NIT is the icing on the cake for me. With UNC, total failure of a season. Hubert Davis and others, they've not only failed themselves, they failed the players, the seniors, the fans, and the alumni combined in this decision to opt out of the NIT. It's just a bad look. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a good call. I think you play. If you have the opportunity to play, you play. You don't say, I don't want to play. I don't think my guys want to play. It's a bad call, no matter how you slice it. So that's the position I'm taking, and I'm standing true to it. Okay, so that's where I stand, and that's the end of the situation. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the Big Ten tournament. Before we get into the NIT and the current state of the NIT right now, let's talk about the Big Ten tournament and the recap. So Michigan State always comes up as a topic of discussion. I've had multiple MSU basketball enthusiasts on the podcast, and Cody and others as well that have been the face of opposition for Michigan State. And I don't even want to say the opposition. They're just Michigan fans. Okay, at the end of the day, they're just Michigan fans. Okay, they're not criminals. They know not what they do, right? No, they're good guys, and they're very objective in their analysis, especially this time of year. They have to be. So DK, Don Star, both were on the show talking about the flashes of success that we've seen in this Michigan State team. Obviously, we didn't see that this past Friday when they faced Ohio State in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. Now, take Ohio State, terrible record, shouldn't even be contenders in the Big Ten tournament. Started playing Wednesday, they wound up making it to Friday to play the Spartans, and just smoked them. Terrible offense from Michigan State. Couldn't make a single three. Couldn't get a ball in the paint to save their ass. And essentially, it was just a piss-poor performance all around. Now, not only did Michigan State lose that game, Ohio State won that game. Played very strong defense, converted on threes, got the ball in the paint, attacked the paint, and got the inside bucket. And that's what they had to do to win the game and just outperform Michigan State by a long shot. And Tom Izzo should be ashamed for letting that game get out of hand like it did. And even if he's not ashamed for that, he should be ashamed for this. And I'm going to paraphrase a quote that came from Tom Izzo's camp and Tom Izzo himself this past weekend, talking about the Big Ten tournament loss to Ohio State. And basically what he said was, listen, guys, this isn't a big deal. We don't have to cry over spilled milk. We're going to take some losses. We're going to still get in the big dance. We're qualifying in there as the 7th seed, and we can hold our heads up high because of that. No. You got to hold your heads down low so you can pick them back up, I think. You got to be able to look yourselves in the mirror and say, we're not there yet. We're not ready for the postseason. If you're not even contending in a Big Ten tournament game to Ohio State, then what the hell are you doing? Okay, terrible performance. And I already talked about in a nutshell, the performance from Michigan State. Terrible, piss poor, garbage. It was not good basketball. It wasn't good television, and I wasn't happy to watch it. I left the vicinity of my household to go visit with some buddies. Had a bar crawl the next day over the weekend. I said I should have left before the game started. I was like, I'm gonna leave. Before that, I was like, I'm gonna watch the game, and then I'm gonna take off. I should have hightailed it out of Dodge before the game started. After I watched the finish. And I think I left early because it was just terrible. I couldn't watch anymore. So you're telling me that they're not going to be a one-and-done team. I tell you, I beg to differ. Because from what I'm seeing, it's not a team that is going to make a run in the big dance. You're facing off some good teams, very highly disciplined teams that are coming to play. And they know what's at stake. And I'm not seeing that mentality within this Michigan State team. And also to boot, to hear Izzo downplay the performance in that Big Ten tournament is not a good sign either, because players are only as good as their coach. And I've never doubted Tom Izzo, never learned to doubt Tom Izzo, still never will doubt Tom Izzo. But to hear him say that is troubling. And maybe he has different ideals. Hopefully he has a mentality that will bring the Spartans to fruition and make them make a run in the tournament. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully I'm eating my words after I show you my bracket picks. But it's not looking good for the Spartans right now. I'm just going to tell you straight up. That's the brass tacks. It's not looking good for MSU going into the big dance. I'm just going to tell you how it is very objectively. And I'm not betting with my heart, because usually I have Michigan State. Even if they got a trash team, I got them going pretty deep in my tournament, in my bracket. So to hear that I'm not in that side of the arena is troubling in all camps. Let's talk about the NIT now. Let's look at the current standings. We have round 1 that has embarked upon us, and I got to give some kudos to Michigan. Got to give some kudos to the Wolverines down there in 8-2. They're playing in the NIT. They didn't have to. Juwan Howard could have said, hey, guys, we're too good for this. We don't need to play in the NIT. We can move on to the offseason. Our seniors, we bid you farewell. We bid you adieu. But our other guys, we're going to build in the offseason, and we're going to do this. We don't want to risk any stupid stuff in the NIT tournament. We could just move on and let bygones be bygones. No. They moved on. They played in the NIT, and they won in their first game against Toledo Rockets. Big game, 90-80. Could have went either way. Toledo gave them a lot of hell throughout that game. And it really could have went either way throughout the majority of that game. They pulled out with the dub, big dub for the Michigan Wolverines. Hofstra with a big win in OT against Rutgers, 88-86. UAB with the win over Southern Mississippi. Villanova takes it on the chin to Liberty. Yale takes it on the chin to Vanderbilt. And Wisconsin takes over in the win against Bradley. Another Big Ten performance to note in the NIT. Seton Hall, Colorado still going at it. Eastern Washington against Washington State. Got 10 minutes left in the second. Wazoo is up 60-54 at the moment. So that is bound to change. Got a lot of round 1 games tomorrow as well. So we're going to be focused on the NIT. I'm not usually focused on the NIT. I'm not watching the NIT too often. I'm not putting too much stock into the NIT almost ever. But as of this year, I'm putting stock into it. I'm looking at these games, looking at these matchups, because I know that there's teams that were good teams, like you see Villanova lose to Liberty. They won it all in the big dance a couple years ago. So to see that happen with big teams, big Power 5 schools, that are performing and that are showing up to the NIT. That is an ode to to the success of the school, to the mentality of the school. We've seen Virginia in the NIT as well last year, and now they're back in the big dance, and they've been 1 seed before. So you can see the highs, the lows, but you can see the opportunities that are either taken or squandered by the schools. And obviously, with UNC being the control, they have been the ones that have squandered the opportunity to play in the NIT. So I look down upon them slightly because of that. I still think they're a win now program. I still think Hubert Davis is a great coach, and I still think they have a lot of potential going forward. But I think that this is a step in the wrong direction by not playing NIT for North Carolina. So we'll leave that as it may. Let's get into the thick of it now. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes of the podcast, something you guys all want to hear about. Let's talk about the bracket. So my bracket is something that has raised eyebrows in years past. And I won the bracket challenge last year, won some good money off of it. And I take pride in the bracket series, because it's a great time of year. It's my favorite time of year. It's a Christmas season. It's a Christmas holiday. This is March Madness. This is Christmas in March, basically, and transitions into April. So we're happy about it, and we're really excited for the tournament that we will embark on, this journey going into Thursday and into the weekend. So a lot of games that will unfold, and I'm excited for every single game, even the lower-tiered games that no one gives a shit about. So let's take a look over here at the South. We'll look at this very broadly. Take this with a grain of salt. For those of you listening, this is a rough draft. As you can see up on the top, it says First Take. Okay, First Take. That's not the ESPN show. That is the first edition of my bracket. Okay, and we happen to use the CBS Sports 2023 Men's NCAA bracket. Okay, for the Final Four in Houston. Okay, big time. And as you can see, I got Houston making it all the way. Just a little bit of a spoiler alert. Okay, let's look at the South. Let's get into the first rounds, and we'll condense it and go work our way inward. I got Alabama over the play-in team. The 16 seed, give me Alabama. Got them making a run. Give me West Virginia over Maryland. Give me Charleston over San Diego State in the 12v 5 seed upset. I like that pick. Virginia, I got them beating Furman. Creighton over NC State, Baylor over UCSB, Mizzou over Utah State, and Arizona over Princeton. And we'll do first and second round per region. Then I got Alabama over West Virginia. I think they have the potential. I think they can make it far. And then I got Charleston over Virginia, and I think that's kind of a bold pick. That's something that I've faced some flack for, just from the people that have seen that. They're like, "Oh my God, you think Charleston's going to beat San Diego State, and then you think they're going to beat Virginia too?" Hey, those are my ballsy upsets early. Those are the ones that are early and that are sticking to the first draft, the first edition of this bracket. So it's bound to change. It's a liquid bracket. And there will be other brackets to follow. They'll all stay the same once they are released. They will stay the same, but there will be subsequent brackets, and there will be one that gets solidified before the games start on Thursday. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay. Creighton over NC State. Baylor against Creighton. Give me Baylor. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to that one big time. Mizzou against Arizona. Arizona's a solid team. I think they're going to face Baylor in the Sweet 16. Arizona and the Wildcats against Baylor. Give me that one. Lock it in. And we feel good about it. Okay? Good deal. Let's move on down to the East. Purdue. I got Purdue over the play-in team. Texas Southern or FDU. Give me Purdue and the Boilermakers. They won the Big Ten tournament. And it was a close one against Penn State. It was a 2-point game. Okay, we've seen weakness. We've seen Purdue show strength in flashes, as has been pretty much the narrative for a lot of Big Ten teams. That's what we've seen, strength in flashes. Okay, Purdue, they will face Memphis in round 2, second round. I got Duke over Oral Roberts, Tennessee over Louisiana, Providence over Kentucky, another upset, 11v6. Kansas State over Montana State. I got MSU over USC. Give them the one game. I owe them that. I owe them the first game. And I'm going to hold my head up high with that pick. I'm going to keep that one locked in because they deserve that much. Okay. Marquette over Vermont. Moving forward, got Purdue over Memphis. Tennessee over Duke. I think the Volunteers have more to offer than Duke does this year, and that's just where they stand. Okay, that's just the reality of the situation. So that's where we stand on that. Give me Kansas State over Providence. Yes, Providence has had success as of late in the postseason, but I just don't think they have enough to beat Kansas State. They're a solid team. And then I got Marquette, the 2 seed, taking over against MSU. Now, strength of schedule, a lot of things come into play here. And really, I hope I'm eating my words at the end of it all. Because, obviously, I'm pulling for the Spartans. Get a little bit emotional thinking about it. But they haven't showed me enough in the postseason, so I can't really expect them to give me everything that I want them to. So Marquette against Kansas State. And we'll move over to the Elite Eight once we condense everything. Okay, moving over to the Midwest. Houston over Iowa. Or Houston over Northern Kentucky. My fault, jumping ahead of myself. Iowa over Auburn. Drake over Miami with the upset. Indiana over Kent State. Iowa State over the play-in team for the 11 seed. Xavier over Kennesaw SI. Penn State over Texas A&M. Texas over Colgate. Texas is a solid team. They're going to make a run, as you can see the little streak there. Penn State is a solid team, though. Giving Purdue that kind of run in the Big Ten tournament shows for a lot of potential. And I'm looking forward to seeing that potential play out. And maybe I'm going to be wrong about this one, but I'm going out on a limb with that pick. So moving into the Sweet 16, I got Houston over Iowa. Iowa's a solid team. Houston's just better. Indiana over Drake. Iowa State over Xavier. Texas over Penn State. I think they win that game. And that's that. Let's move on to the West. Kansas over Howard, the 1v16. And 16 seeds can win. That's the thing. 16 seeds can win. Do they have high potential to win? No, they don't. But they can. It's not impossible. It's March Madness. Illinois over Arkansas, 8v9. St. Mary's against VCU. Now, St. Mary's. Got to put the highlighter on that one. And there's a very good reason for that. St. Mary's is not a 5 seed by mistake. This is by design. We're expecting to see them play well, do well, and we need them to do well, especially my bracket. I got them going not only to the Sweet 16, but the Elite 8. So, got them beating UConn in the second round. We'll see what happens there. But I have high hopes for St. Mary's, let me tell you. UConn's a solid team, though. I can't discount UConn. Give me St. Mary's over UConn and over Kansas going into the Elite 8. TCU against the play-in 11 seed. And then Gonzaga over Grand Canyon. Give me TCU over Gonzaga. Northwestern over Boise State. Give me Northwestern. UCLA against UNC Asheville. Give me UCLA. They have strong postseason potential. I got them making the run down there in the West in the bottom. Beating Northwestern and beating TCU in the Sweet 16, making it to the Elite 8 and eventually the Final Four, and that's where we'll transition, kind of trickle in here. So UCLA makes the Final Four, the first Final Four spot. And Purdue over Kansas State. I think Kansas State makes a run. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is Kansas State and Marquette. That could be a good game, and it will be a good game if we see it. Give me Purdue in the East Division, East Region's Final Four spot. Then we got Alabama, Baylor. Give me Baylor. The Baylor Bears face some tough losses in the month of March to Iowa State in the Cyclones. But I think they can hone in their skills and really find their stride here in the tournament. And then Houston over Texas. You got an in-state game, in-state matchup. That's only going to show us fireworks. We're going to see fireworks in that game. Houston, I think, is the more dominant team. And then I got Baylor-Houston in the final game. Houston with the dub, 71-65. Now, am I going out on a limb? Am I crazy? let me know, because I don't think I am, but maybe just a little bit. But either way, I'm very excited for the Big Ten, or for the big tournament, and it's going to be a hell of a game. Hell of a matchup. There's going to be crazy matchups that happen, crazy upsets that I didn't sniff out. And the more upsets you can sniff out, the better off you'll be. But just face facts. You're not going to sniff every upset. There's tons of upsets to be had, and you can't be too hard on yourself. Just have fun picking the picks and enjoying the games, enjoying the matchups, because the hype of March Madness is what makes March Madness so great. And I'm excited. Can't hold in my excitement any longer. We're getting close to it. As the rounds progress, we're going to be giving more analysis and more recaps of what happened, where our brackets went wrong, where they got shattered, where we lost points, where we miscalculated certain matchups. And we're going to have a blast doing all that. But I'll leave it at that for now. Make sure to check out the GSN Challenge 4. All the updates have been made to both the Gin Pros website and the GinSportsNetwork.com website. So check it out. Get registered while you can still get $20 off per team. We want to see everybody out there. It's a great tournament, great event, and it's for a great cause. The Thomas Smith Memorial Foundation, Tommy'sHeart.org, do a lot of great work for heart research and prevention of diseases in young athletes and young adults, and everybody. Do heart screenings. They raise money for AED machines. And it's a great cause, and we're playing golf, growing the two-man for that great cause, and we're very excited, very happy to do that. So get registered, get involved, and we hope to see you out there on June 17th, 2023 at Briar Ridge. But for now, I'll leave it at that, guys. All of our links are in the link tree down below. Make sure to get involved any way you can. Start some controversy. Get at me on Twitter. I love to start controversy myself, so join in on the fun and get at me on social media. It's a blast. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys on there. Everything is in the bottom of the podcast. But for now, I'm John J. II with the Gin College Podcast. Enjoy the basketball. Enjoy all the fun, all the hype, and most importantly, have a great night. We'll see you later.